Welcome back to CFP Nation. I'm your host, Nino Brown. I got Mr. Hawk's Nest in the building. You know who it is, Mr. Get It Done DNow. This is Devy Darling. We got a special edition. Before we get into it, how we doing tonight, my man?
Not too bad, not too bad. Had a good weekend. How about you?
I kicked a lot of college football. I was, had the luxury of being at BC and then just soaking all the rest of the games in, and it's still going on right now, Duke and Clemson. So, it's a lovely time of the year if you're a college football fan. And if
Absolutely.
you're not, I feel bad for you, right?
Right. Like, what else is there at this time of year?
They're going to try to dabble in it next weekend. It's not going to be the same. But we're going to talk about a Devy Darling. I know you, before we made this list, are a fan of this gentleman. That's Penn State quarterback Drew Allar. Listen, this guy put on a little performance this weekend. We'll get into that soon. We're going to talk about where it came from and a little bit of his attributes before we break it all down from this week. 6'5", 232. Went to Medina High School in Ohio. The other sites will say differently. We won't mention all the names, but per 24/7, he was QB1 in the 2022 class, number 3 overall in all the recruits. All right, his senior year at Medina, 14 games, 509 attempts, 305 completions for 4,444 yards. That's 48 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He was just under 60% completion. DNow, I know you're a crazy stat guy, so I'm gonna let you read it off, dude. His numbers that year was stupid.
Yeah. So, like you have here, average 3 touchdowns a game, 1 interception every 73.4 attempts. That, stupid.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, he had some rushing, which 123 attempts for 382 yards and 9 touchdowns. That's ridiculous.
Right. And
ridiculous numbers.
He's not a dude that would just have design run plays, right? It's just this time where he's getting rushed out the pocket. He looks to pass before he would run, right? But if he needs to, he can get them yards. He can extend the plays. I thought about it, and it's, I'm a Levis guy, and Levis got a lot of those comps to Josh Allen. I honestly think Drew Allar is better comp to Josh Allen than Levis ever was. You know what I mean? I just think the style of game Allar has, coming out of Wyoming, he fits, the Josh Allen, typical type quarterback.
Absolutely. That's the first thing on my notes. It says Josh Allen build. He fits that prototypical build for a quarterback. He's big, both height and he can take a hit with his size. But that was the first thing I noticed. He's not as good of a runner as Josh Allen is right now, but arm strength, body size, it's pretty comparable.
Yeah, and a lot of things we're going to run down now as we go through the attributes that we've noticed, just in a little bit last year, this game this weekend, and what we've seen some tape, from back in high school. He throws a good ball, right? It's clean. He's got a big arm. He can throw the ball across his body to the other hash. He's got that vertical swag. He has it out. It's a nice ball. He's going to put it in the receiver's hands. He's elite in my eyes in the short and intermediate throws. He just boom, 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 and he anticipates well. Those short intermediate throws, he leads these wide receivers. He's throwing the ball like Hartman was week 1. Before wide receivers coming out of their breaks, he's throwing to a spot where he knows they're going to be. We mentioned briefly just now that he uses his legs to extend plays. Not really design runs, but my man can pick up chunks of yards if he needs to. He throws well on the run in my eyes, and he reads defenses and adjusts the line of scrimmage. And we've seen that a lot this weekend against West Virginia. What were your thoughts on the attributes you just read off? Like you said, I feel like I'm talking about Josh Allen a little bit there, right?
Yeah, you could just put these in front of anyone and they would think you're talking about Josh Allen. But like you have here, the elite short intermediate throws, that's his bread and butter. Don't get me wrong. He can throw it, like you said, deep, and it's a beautiful ball. But if he needs to, he will pick you apart slow and painfully in the short and intermediate games, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Nope. And like one every 73.4 attempts. Like, dude, he's not really making mistakes. He's cerebral. He reads defenses, like I said, very well. He goes through progressions. Listen, this kid has it. And he kind of flown it. And I was surprised that he didn't get an opportunity. I know Franco stays true to his seniors, but Sean Clifford wasn't anything special. I know they were winning games and they were in the hunt for a title and a Big Ten title. Maybe that's why they went with Clifford the whole season. But man, I really thought he was going to get a chance to get in there and flash. He really didn't. He put up blowout stats, right? Came in 35 of 60, 344 yards. He was close to 60% completion. But this weekend, against West Virginia, a couple things that stood out to me. Not just the 21 for 29, right? The 325 yards and the 3 touchdowns. He was over 70% completion, right? He's got that strong frame. He stays in the pocket, like I compare to Allen, and delivers a completion to Tyler Warren inside the 15-yard line against West Virginia after taking. He took a blast right up the middle, and dude just delivered a ball. He completed it on the sideline. It had touch. It had speed and touch because it was placed well where Warren could just toe tap himself in. He's a bigger receiver as well. So, he's got that. And then he threw. Listen, he threw 2 beautiful balls to Lamont Smith. But the second one, he steps up, he steps back, and then he rolls out to the right and just delivers a strike to Lamont Smith. I mean, the kid's got it. And he was putting on display. Now, I want to see, obviously, and this is no disrespect to the Mountain East. I need a little bit better competition, right? Like, let's see when you go against the Ohio States, the Michigans, the Nebraskas, the Iowa, the defenses that come, and they just keep coming because that's all they know how to do. It's just attack, attack, attack. Well, you go against Ohio State, you start to see secondaries that can eat you up. So this is where I want to see Allar. But for a stop, for what we're going to talk about is Devy Darling, a guy that kind of flashed. And I think in my eyes, the hype, he's living up to the hype week 1. I would have to say 2025, he's got to be the first QB off the board right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I have in my notes the best natural talent in the 2022 recruiting class, QB-wise. I was talking with KT before the show. The 2021 class was just stacked. And for him to be the number 1 in that, he beat out guys like Klubnik, Wiegman, Ty Simpson for Alabama. Quinn Ewers was even at one point in that class. So for him to be for him to be above those guys, I mean, he's a dog.
Yeah, and he's performing on the big stage, and he's look well. And listen, I'm not saying Lamont Smith's not a good dude. Everybody comes into their own, and he might be coming into their own. But they went out and got Dante Cephas. Now, I don't know if it was injury-wise or whatever it may be, but 9 snaps, 2 targets, 1 reception. This guy did it without his alpha. Maybe Lamont Smith is going to be the alpha, right? But it was Smith the number 6 all game, and he was hitting him. But he's not stupid either. He knows he's got dogs in the backfield, right? In Allen and Singleton, and he knows that those are the horses, so he lets them carry the team and eat. But he's not the dude who's going to take second fiddle, and he was proving that this week against West Virginia. Like I said, it was just I was more impressed by the clean ball, how strong and tall he stood in the pocket. Really wasn't afraid of any coming from the blind side, any safety in the box. If they were shooting the A or the B gap, it didn't matter to him. He had faith in his run backs to pick up the block, and if not, he knew that his legs could provide him enough time to just move in the pocket to make a throw. So I was impressed by that, and I was just impressed by how cerebral, how he was reading. One there, not there. One read's not there. Second read's not there. Third read, I'll go to him. Oh, it's not the deep ball's not available. Like the play was designed. I'll throw a dink pass over, to Singleton or tight end. Like he had it all, and he was showing it on display. So he did have one pass over the middle that kind of, it got tipped up in the air and picked, possibly picked. It was kind of risque where he threw the ball because it was in double coverage on the left side. But other than that, I don't really think he made too many mistakes. What are your thoughts on the game?
No, he knew his game and he executed it to a T. Like you said, he's got those dogs in the backfield that he knows is going to eat. But again, piggybacking off what you said, without Cephas, he showed that he can still do it, Right. So that's what I liked. And I'm going to throw out my hot take.
Let's go.
If the Big Ten makes the playoffs, it's going to be Penn State.
Ooh, I like it. You guys both know I'm not the biggest. I shouldn't say Penn State fan. I'm not the biggest Franklin fan, right? I just like what has he really done? Right? Maybe he'll do it this year.
This may be his best team.
I think you got a solid point overall talent wise. I've always been a big fan of like Penn State defensive backs.
Oh yeah,
like those guys are always dogs, and they got a couple this year. But listen, this was a great episode. We're trying to explain to you why these dudes, why he was QB1 in a lot of guys' eyes, coming in, and why he could be going out in the same class as QB1. He put it on display for 1 week. I think you're gonna see a lot more of Drew Allar and a lot more talk. But we're doing it early after week 1. I'm Nino Brown, Mr. Hawkness, Mr. Get It Done DNow to my side. This is Devy Darling on CFB Nation. We out.